Where do I begin? I didn't even review last week's Raw because I thought it was terrible. This Raw was terrible as well. But I've made an obligation to make videos for you guys, and here I am. I I don't know what they're doing, if they're just trying to save the good shows for when the brand split happens, but you know, you could do it a whole lot better than you're doing it now. But I guess you guys just don't give a fuck, do you? As long as you're getting views, it doesn't really matter, huh? Really? That's how you feel, WWE. Alright, guys. I'm sorry, I'm pissed off because this show has not been great at all. And I'm getting real fucking tired of it. So let's talk about Raw. Okay? Raw kicked off, they're in Detroit, by the way, with a battle royal for the Intercontinental Championship. And who wins? Darren Young. Why? Because they're trying to make Darren Young great again. I don't care. He won the battle royal without having to eliminate the last couple of people. Apollo Crews and Baron Corbin pretty much eliminated themselves. So Darren Young won because he was just so happened to be the last guy still in the ring when it was all said and done. Alright, Steph and Shane were in the office backstage talking about, Vince coming back tonight to announce who's going to be the general manager for Raw and Smackdown, I guess. And, they were just talking about the draft and everything. Seth Rollins came in and says he has a proposition. He has unreleased footage of a Reigns interview he did, and they were going to put it on the Ambrose Asylum, but instead he was like, how about we do it on my new talk show, because I have a background in talk shows, the Rollins Report. So, whatever, we saw what happened later on tonight, but we'll talk about that in a minute. Zack Ryder backstage, swung Rusev around and was trying to challenge him for the United States Championship, and then Sheamus attacked him from behind and was like, you need to worry about me rather than Rusev. So they had their match. Match was alright. Zack Ryder was actually getting off some good offense in this match, surprisingly, but it didn't go that long, and Sheamus caught him with a bro kick eventually, and picked up the win there. After the match, Rusev came down to the ring and attacked him, put him in the accolade, or whatever I guess it's just the new accolade, because he's ever since that match with Kalisto, he's just been clinching that bitch in, and it just looks devastating. Rusev is out of control. But he said he accepted his challenge, so I don't know when they're going to fight. That's probably going to be a pre-show match for Battleground. But anyway, the Lucha the Lucha Dragons versus Breezango. I can't eat. Breezango won. Why? Why? Kalisto botched during this match, and Tyler Breeze hit a clean super kick while Kalisto was hunched over the turnbuckles or whatever. Whatever, they won. So now we have the Rollins report. So Seth Rollins comes out. He says he has obtained exclusive video evidence of Reigns and Rollins sit down conversation he had about Reigns being suspended and everything. So the video rolls, nice little intro, whatever, and he's asking him about being a disgrace and letting his fans down. Is he embarrassed about it or whatever? But they had old Reigns footage from when he did the little sit-down interviews with Michael Cole. So he was answering every question Rollins asked him, the way Rollins wanted him to answer them. He was like, are you proud of what you did and, getting suspended and letting everybody down? And Reigns was like, yeah, I did it. I'm happy about it too. Just, it wasn't really him answering the questions. It was more the interviews he did with Michael Cole being, edited up to make it seem like Rollins was actually talking to him, but in reality, he really wasn't. They even had him when it was interviews when he was still WWE champion, so they had the title in the background and on his shoulder or whatever, so it was hilarious. This was a highlight, I guess, out of a pretty shitty Raw. But after that, Seth was like, see, Reigns should be taking off this triple threat match. What does he deserve to be in the match for still? He just admitted to doing all of this and whatever. So Dean Ambrose came out and was like, see, you finally getting a sense of humor. Finally got the stick out your butt. And He was just pretty much making fun of him. And Seth was like, you can make all your jokes or whatever, but you're just afraid to face me one-on-one. And that's why you want Reigns in a match. You two are going to team up on me, and then you're going to get the pinfall over him. And then Dean goes off. He was like, see, I've proved that I'm no longer a joke to you guys. I've seen guys come in, and then he started taking shots at Lesnar and taking shots at Reigns. He was like, I didn't get suspended. I didn't just go leave to go fight for another promotion. I stayed here and I worked my ass off, and now I'm the champion. And he's seen all these guys get washed out, and he's willing to go through it all. Bloodshed and tears all over again just to keep his championship. And he was pretty much saying that, Rollins knows him from the Shield. So he knows what type of sacrifices he will make to keep this championship. He was like, you know what? You want a one-on-one so bad? Let's do it next week. Look, actually, he wanted to do it tonight, but Rollins was like, nah, we'll just do it next week, and just walked away. But Dean was passionate in his promo. It's about time. I mean, his promos are alright, but you don't really know what his character is. Like, he comes off as the lunatic guy, the crazy guy. And, I mean, he's crazy. I'll give him that. But other than that, it's not really... You can't really describe his character. And, I don't know. I like Dean Ambrose. I'm not bashing him by any means, but it's kind of just weird to me. But, whatever. They confirmed later that these two are going to have the match for the WWE Championship next week, which makes no goddamn sense, because why are you doing this? Just to have them fight no less than a week later at Battleground in the Triple Threat match. I just don't get it. What are we doing here? How did we get here? What are we doing? Why? Because Rollins wants his one-on-one? That's why we're doing it? Fuck that. He can get his one-on-one after the Triple Threat match if he doesn't win. But if he's just this great champion as he said he was, he'll be able to take on anybody and get the title back. He beat Reigns clean at the last pay-per-view, so why can't he do it against two other people that he claims he's better than? Whatever. So, Sami Zayn comes out for commentary for Kevin Owens' match against Cesaro. Kevin Owens' music hits, but he doesn't come out. He's in the back talking to the referee, saying he's not going out there until Sami Zayn is gone. And then Steph comes up and was like, yeah, get him out of there. Just get him from the commentary table so Owens can have his match. So the refs come out there and remove Zayn. And as he's going up the ramp, then Kevin Owens comes out and acts like he's all big and bad or whatever. Typical Kevin Owens stuff. It was all right. They fought for a little bit, and then Owens told him to get in the ring with him as he ran to the ring. And they still escorted Sami out of there. So he had a match with Cesaro. These two have fought before. Match wasn't that bad. Probably the best match of the night, wrestling wise. These two definitely know what to do to put on a good show and put on a good wrestling match. I'm gonna need Cesaro to do something more than just uppercuts and swings, though. I like Cesaro, but I believe he has more moves in his repertoire that he's just not using, and I feel like he could use more of them. But the match was alright. Sami Zayn. Kevin Owens used a different finisher, though. He used like this inverted fireman's carry swinging neck breaker thing gimmick. It was sick. It was nice. It wasn't a pop-up powerbomb. I'm guessing they're protecting it or whatever, but it was cool. But so after that, Sami Zayn came back out to attack Kevin Owens, but this time from behind, because Owens started talking trash on the commentary. Sami Zayn cleared the barricade, and they just started going at it again or whatever. And then Cesaro, he got back in the ring. Cesaro hit him with a little swing or whatever, and then that was pretty much it. So that was that. Another gimmick match, damn it. Heath Slater versus Titus O'Neil. Titus won. Titus won. That's what I'm gonna say about that. Sasha Banks backstage saying Dana challenged her on Smackdown and she made a mistake by it, and everybody's telling her to kick her ass, and that's exactly what she's gonna do. So now this segment I'm gonna talk about now it's got mixed reviews from what I could see on Twitter and what I was hearing from my wrestling chat. The New Day goes to the Wyatt's compound. So they were invited by Bray Wyatt and the Wyatt family to come to their compound last week on Raw and pretty much fight them. So they get there. It's just this middle of the woods, eerie feeling thing. There's an abandoned car, And then, multiple cars' headlights light up, so of course they have the lighting for this brawl that was about to take place. And then behind them comes a car about to hit them, and it was the Wyatts. And then, they had a nice little brawl or whatever. They were all in street clothes, the New Day were, and then, the Wyatts were in their typical get up. It was alright. I mean, I felt like they over edited the video and did way too much. But it was nice, I feel like if they didn't do all the camera cuts and all the cinematics they did, it could have been a whole lot better. But it was nice. The New Day was, well, they were pretty much helping Xavier face his fears of the Wyatt family, but they were, going at him for a while, and they had got the upper hand, but eventually the Wyatts, pretty much had control of the whole thing, as expected. But at the end of it, the teams all faced each other. They were all still standing, even though they were hurt. And out from where the cars were, there was people in sheet masks, and they were holding up the lanterns as Bray Wyatt does during his entrance or whatever. He said, "Follow the buzzards," and that was pretty much it. It didn't really do anything though for me. Like, even though it was nice, it was different. It was a change of pace from the normal, just fight in the back or just fight in the ring and stare at each other. It still didn't really do anything though. Like, what was the point really? Like, if Xavier would have got dragged off or something, like, and they would have just had him in his possession. Like, remember how they took Undertaker? And what was that? Was that Survivor Series or SummerSlam? One of those two. They dragged the Undertaker away and pretty much said they took his soul or something like that. Why couldn't they do that to Xavier? They could have played off the fact that he's afraid of them. They're his biggest fear. He stopped having fun with his brothers in the New Day because he was so afraid of them. So, why couldn't they just play off of that? They could have went there and just had them, pretty much held Xavier hostage, pretty much. And, then Kofi and Big E will be forced to get real serious and go get their boy back. They could have went that route, but they didn't. It remains to be seen what they're gonna do going forward. But in terms of this, it was all right. After that, Enzo and Cass versus the Club. After the Club came out, Enzo and Cass came out to pretty much drop their promo on them, and they were pretty much saying, you guys say we are just, trying to kiss up to Cena. We want his place. It's not just we're just trying to kiss up to John Cena. We want his place as well as you guys do. And we're going to do whatever we can to get it. So, AJ was pretty much saying, Cena don't care about you. He's not even here. He's in Los Angeles. It's 3-on-2 right now. If we get the upper hand and beat you guys down, he's not going to come save you. He's not here. And they played that up real good. So, the match didn't really end on a pinfall or anything. AJ pretty much got the team disqualified when he threw Big Cass over the barricade. And they got in the ring to surround Enzo. And out comes and Cena comes out. We didn't know he was there. They really said, Cena wasn't there. So I actually kind of believed it. I'm a fool for believing that. But Cena comes out and, they handle the Club and get them out the ring. So they set up a match, I believe, last week. Enzo, Cass, and Cena versus the Club at Battleground. So that'll be all right. Cena's doing that whole limited schedule thing with WWE, which I'll talk about more pretty soon. But yeah, we'll see where this match goes. And I believe, you know what? I think it's good. Even though Cena and AJ are going to have their payoff at SummerSlam, it's good that they're not just doing, okay, AJ versus Cena, Money in the Bank. Cool. Now AJ versus Cena at Battleground. They're doing it in a tag team match, which is a little bit different. It's not just a one-on-one match between these two. So we'll see where this goes. And then hopefully at SummerSlam, AJ can actually win this rivalry. He needs it. Cena doesn't need it. Cena can retire today and he's going in the Hall of Fame. Cena don't need nothing else. It would be nice, because I'm a Cena fan. I'm not ashamed to say it, but he don't really need to win this rivalry. Put AJ over. Let him get over. I mean, he's over, but let him win this rivalry. After that, Dana Brooke versus Sasha Banks. I feel like if this match was on NXT, it would have been a whole hell of a lot better than it was. because the dynamic of NXT is just completely different from the main roster. And it's kind of hard to explain why or how, but it's just like the feel of NXT, the atmosphere, the ability, like they're striving to get to the main roster in NXT. And I feel like once they get to the main roster, they kind of don't really have nothing else to strive for anymore. So, they're kind of just like, oh well, what the fuck? We don't really got to try as hard as we did as we did in NXT to get recognized. So let's just half-ass it. Fuck it. Let's just get paid now. And I feel like that's what they're doing. I could be wrong. This is just my opinions, of course. Anything I say, unless it's been proven factual, is just an opinion. But the match was pretty sloppy. I didn't think this was a good show at all, especially from a wrestling standpoint. Progressing rivalries, I guess you could make a case for it. But, whatever. So Vince McMahon's announcement was the last thing that happened. So Steph and Shane come out, and then Vinnie Mac comes out. The crowd pops for him, of course. They love Vince. So he says, Steph and Shane have been doing all right, but he's disappointed because Steph has been acting too sweet, too goody two shoes, too different. It's not the Steph that he knows, the cutthroat woman that he knows. And he said they're both acting like they didn't come from his loins or something. And he was like, where's the competition at? Where's the cutthroatness? Why aren't you guys stabbing each other in the back? Like, you aren't my kids. Where's the ruthless aggression at? So he pretty much gets them to prove that they should be running SmackDown Live. So Steph pretty much goes for the jugular, saying whatever Shane did during the podcast with Mick Foley, that the old guard doesn't want to listen to the new guard, and that's pretty much why he left. His ideas weren't being heard, and Dad wasn't patting him on the back, and all of that stuff. Steph's pretty much just saying, the numbers have been up, they've been producing better content or whatever with her in charge of Raw, whatever. And then Shane's like, if he was in charge of SmackDown, he'd bring about that change. He'd break all those glass ceilings that the old guard put up to, neutralize certain superstars from reaching a certain point. You have a new look to SmackDown, just a whole new way that it'd be run. Will be different, and, the superstars will get the chance to be as great as he knows they can be. So, after that, Vince was like, okay, well, I got to make my decision on this. And before that, though, Shane was like, if you still have the grapefruits, you would make me the COO or the commissioner of SmackDown, because it'd be right. So Vince does. He makes Shane in charge of SmackDown, and then he puts Steph in charge of Raw. So they were both celebrating or whatever. They were happy. And he was like, but you two are both going to have to assign general managers to your brands, and I want competition. I want it Raw versus SmackDown. I want, competition on ratings, on attendance at live events. He doesn't even care if you break the law, just don't get caught. He wants a competition. And maybe one day they'll have one of them two will have the keys to the kingdom, which is, being the head of WWE. So next week they'll pick the general managers, and Steph says she's going to bury SmackDown and prove that she should be at the top of the company and not Shane. Shane was just like, you're hiding something by trying to do this aggressive stuff, trying to stab me in the back. You're hiding something because you're scared, because you've seen this turn out the certain way as it did before. I just left the first time. This time, it's going to be the same result, except I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to be on top of the WWE, and you're going to be in the shadows like you've always been. And then Steph was like, this isn't a game. I'm married to the game, and slapped the hell out of Shane. And then as she's leaving out the ring, he walks up to her, and she's like, go ahead, hit me, and like points to her cheek, and Shane kissed her on the cheek, and that was just pretty cool, I guess. Nice little segment here, nothing really to complain about. So Shane will be running SmackDown, Steph will be running Raw, and then next week they'll pick their general manager, so we'll see where it goes from there. Pretty lackluster Raw, though, especially from a wrestling standpoint. Like, I thought a lot of the matches were sloppy, and a lot more talking and less wrestling is what really went on. And I figure if you guys would have just did more wrestling and, not focused on the gimmicky stuff, it would have been great. But, WWE is about entertainment now, so I guess I just have to accept that. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'm sorry for so much negativity. I tried to bring positivity from this Raw, but it's just so hard when WWE doesn't give you a chance to review a good show. They don't give you the opportunity to do that. They just pull out this crap and just expect you to enjoy it. So we'll see. Hopefully with this brand split coming up, we'll get some more better shows and get back to what WWE knows they can produce. They can be entertaining and they can produce great wrestling at the same time. I believe in them. Unfortunately, I do. So leave your comments down in the comment section how you guys felt about tonight's Raw. And if you have any ideas for what the WWE can do to make better Raws, to make it more enjoyable. And I'll talk to you guys later on. I'll be discussing the brand split in depth a little bit more with my boy Oven Fresh Death here coming up pretty soon. And I'll talk to you guys later. Thank you guys for watching. Peace.